Welcome to another Sci-Fi Journal. This is a special one because we are at...
Boston Fan Expo 2026.
All right, that's Calvin Watts III. I'm Marc Morrisseau. This is going to be a lot of fun.
It is. We volunteered a couple of years here at Boston Fan Expo. It is a great con. Coming back from the old Boston Comic Con, which the last time we had covered this event was literally about 15 years ago.
Yeah, it's been a minute.
There's a lot of stuff to do here. It's at the BCEC at our Thomas Menino Center is what it is now. Mm-hmm. So there's plenty of room. There's a lot to do. We're going to have fun.
Yeah, we've got a lot of walking. We're going to get our steps in today.
Yes.
It should be fun. And we went through the exhibition hall to get to this spot. This place is huge. A lot of stuff. You can spend a lot of money in this place.
You can.
Okay, so let's interview some really nice folks and see what's going on at Boston Fan Expo.
All right, Boston Fan Expo 2027, and we're just walking along. We're on the vendor hall on the main floor here at the convention center, and I ran to Tal Lin, who is one of the main people behind Pinball Tycoon Arcade up in New Hampshire. How's it going?
Hey, how are you doing? Very good, very good. Good. Excited to be here.
So there's a lot going on in pinball. You know, you guys have a big presence over at Fantastic New England, which you cover like every year, and that's a lot of fun. A lot of new tables come out. You have a couple of new tables here today. Talk a little bit about those.
Yeah, so behind us here I have the new Transformers machine from Stern that just came out recently, as well as the brand new Sega or Sonic from Jersey Jack. And they both came out last month. We're very excited to be able to say that we had the first collector's edition Sonic in New England. We work really closely with the companies and are able to get the machines that we want. Absolutely fantastic games, really fun. They did a phenomenal job, both Stern and Jersey Jack, on these games, and I'm very proud to be able to have them here and host them at Fan Expo.
Now, Tycoon has a really nice presence at Fantastic, but you really need to go to their location up in New Hampshire. Yes, I get it from some of you, it's a bit of a drive, but trust me, it is worth the trip. You guys are now, you would just seriously say you have more pinball machines on location than anybody else in New England, is that correct?
Yes, right now we have 101 pinball machines in our arcade, the most in New England at the moment. We also have a lot of very unique machines that are hard to find anywhere else. All our list is constantly updated on pinball maps. It is a bit of a drive from some people, especially from Rhode Island, but I have people coming up from Rhode Island every weekend usually to come up and play games, so it's a lot of fun.
So what made you guys come over here just to get some exposure over at Boston Fan Expo? Are you going to plan on doing anything here today?
You know, I've come to the show several years before hosting as a guest, and I never see pinball. And pinball is growing in the community, and people just don't even realize how popular it is, and the themes and the IPs that are available right now. And so I was like, we need to have some more exposure, and I think it would be really fun. So we're not really doing anything special here. I just want to bring some machines, especially some of the newest stuff. Obviously, I want to bring my Lord of the Rings machine for the special occasion, get that signed, and just expose people to the game. I've had a lot of people that are in the area that are like, oh my, I didn't even know these were a thing.
Now, I have told you guys plenty of times just how great pinball is. It's a different type of game than, you know, playing a standard video arcade game. And it's a lot more tactile, and it's a lot of fun. So why should new people want to come and play pinball?
It's a good question. You know, my son's 12, and I have a pinball machine at the house, and a part of that is because I wanted to get him off screens all day. And so it's a way to obviously practice hand-eye coordination, reaction times, as well as do something a little different than what we're used to doing. I think growing up as kids, we played pinball. It kind of died down for a while, and it kind of sort of disappeared. But in the last 10 years, it has grown tremendously. It's a lot of fun. The games are really well designed with a lot of really cool, unique features that we just didn't have before. And I think it's one of those things that just really get people involved. It's a great hobby to have.
Now, you guys who also recently said you're going to be moving to a new location soon?
Yeah, so we're in the process right now of building a place in Bedford, New Hampshire. So it's just down the road from our current location, but it's a much bigger space. We have more machines going into that place there. We'll have still over 100 machines, as well as more arcade games, more kid-friendly stuff, as well as a free play area for kids to play free games. We'll also have a restaurant, cafe. We'll do food and drink, beer and wine, a lot more sort of purpose-built for what we want to do and showcase the machines that we have. We do sell machines. Obviously, we are a distributor for all the major companies. So the new arcade also becomes kind of our showroom to show off all the cool new machines that you can have.
All right. If people want to get in touch with you, your social media and stuff, they can go to your website and get more information.
Yeah, so you can either go to pinballtycoon.com to visit our website. You can see our stuff over there. Otherwise, you can also find us on Facebook, Tycoon Arcade on Facebook and Instagram. And you can always reach out to us directly, sales@pinballtycoon.com if you have any questions, concerns, anything like that. Happy to answer those questions and help anybody out.
All right, Tyler, thank you for spending a few minutes of time here at Boston Fan Expo. Once you're in your new location, I'll have to go up there and do a thing up there. That would be so much fun. Thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of the con. We'll see you soon.
Thank you very much, guys. I appreciate the time. Thank you.
All right, I'm with Will, who is the proprietor of Sith Lord Pins. How you doing?
Doing pretty good. How are you doing today, Mark?
I'm doing well. Now, how did you get started with this business?
So it started a few years ago, around maybe like 1 or 2 years post-COVID, and I had run into an artist named Red Flag Workshop on Instagram. He made many of the patches you can find here today.
Okay.
And I had asked him if he had any interest making pins. At the time, like many other people during COVID, we all started new hobbies. I wanted to collect pins. He had no interest making pins, but I said, could we work something out? Long story short, we made the National Park pins for Star Wars, and the rest is history.
Okay.
And that's where we are now today.
Nice. Now, do you have any favorites that you sell, that you like to sell?
So going with the National Park range, when it comes to we have Alderaan right here. It's always a fan favorite.
Yeah, okay.
People love dark humor.
Yeah.
When it comes to other pins, we have this Mustafar one right here. It was one of the first pins I ever made.
All right.
It took a very long time to make and perfect, but you can't rush art, as they say.
Talk a little bit about how the pins themselves are made.
So initially, we commissioned an artist with a very basic idea, and then we had to talk with the manufacturer. There's like different effects. Like for this one, there's a little bit of curl swirl in the background. We have to perfect the colors.
All right.
But you need a Pantone book just so you could communicate well with the manufacturers, because if you tell them one color, if you tell them blue, they could be coming up with something else entirely different than what you're expecting. But even when you give them a Pantone color, it's not an exact science because they hand mix these colors.
Right.
So between manufacturers, they can be slightly different. So it's very important to have what are called either samples or what will be more known as prototypes.
Okay. Now, do you have a background in art? Did you go to school for this, or doing it on your own?
It's more just a hobby thing, but I'm a finance and information technology person, so as far as you can get from what you would think like a traditional person would do. But it's more just like a hobby thing that I do on the side, just to bring ideas to life. Because originally, I would ask other pin makers if they could make this design, and I'm like, what's stopping me from doing it,
Okay. Yeah. Now, I bought a patch from Batu. You're a Star Wars fan. I'm a Star Wars fan. Do you have a favorite era in Star Wars? One you prefer more than others, or?
They all have their pros and cons, or just like their strengths and weaknesses.
Yeah.
But for me, it's a little bit of a cop-out, but I love every part of Star Wars. The original trilogy, the prequels, the sequels. Each trilogy has, their weaknesses. Yeah. But it's Star Wars. As long as you're having a great time, that's all that matters.
That's all that matters. Now, if people want to get in touch with you online, what's the best way to do it?
So they can find me on Instagram and Etsy at Sith Lord Pins.
Okay, well, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Mark.
Let's see what else is going on in Boston.
All right, we're here at Boston Fan Expo 2026, and our friend is my favorite artist.
It's always great having him on the show. This is Guy Gilchrist, a Jim Henson illustrator, famous for doing the Muppets, and he does a whole lot of really cool stuff. Guy, how's it going?
Going great. How you doing?
I'm doing fine. So what have you been up to lately? It's been a while since we caught up with you.
Well, I'm always creating. We did a show with MLB, with Major League Baseball, where I created the puppet for it. And gosh, there's so much stuff that I do every single year. We still haven't put out the memoir, but that should be out by the end of the year. And basically been traveling the country and the world, bringing Muppety goodness to everybody.
That's a good idea. Yeah. Speaking of which, recently I was told that you just came back from a trip in Australia. You went down under for the first time for a convention.
Australia was insane. Like, you think we've created some crazy Muppets? You should see some of the crazy creatures, down there. Absolutely amazing. What's a very, very cool thing about my career is that I may not have been to that country before, but by the time I get to that country, whenever it is and wherever it is, I have hundreds of thousands of friends already because of the Muppets and, Turtles and Tom and Jerry.
So you're from Tennessee, Nashville, I believe. So do you have a store in the Nashville International Airport?
Yeah, actually we do. A good friend of mine, Amy, and her husband, John. John is the bass player for the Monkees. And anyway, we have a store called the Nashville Jam Session right in Nashville Airport with some of my painted guitars and drums and all that kind of thing.
And speaking of Nashville, sorry, it's been a long day. It's home to Grand Ole Opry. It's one of the more vibrant music centers of the entire country. Now, I know you play guitar, but I didn't notice that you've actually been on the Grand Ole Opry stage. Is that correct? Talk a little bit about your experience with that.
Yeah, I performed on the Grand Ole Opry. I can't remember the date. It was probably about 97 or 98. And I went out on the Grand Ole Opry stage and I was talking to little Jimmy Dickens, and I was presenting with a whole bunch of artwork that was going to go into the Opry Museum. And then little Jimmy said, hey, Mountain Dew? And I said, sure. And he said, hit it. And we sang together. And that was my very first time on the Grand Ole Opry. And since I've been on 2 other times.
That is awesome. So you got the memoir that's going to be coming out soon. Are any other projects that are upcoming or that you're working on that you can talk about?
See, that's the key thing. Talk about. And that's how it always is. You can see the memoir, that's mine. But then the other stuff, nope. But we will be, we're doing a lot of touring. And, go to GuyGilchrist.com and for all of the Muppety goodness.
And since he gave you the stuff out,
Thank you, guys.
so anyways, Guy, thank you very much for taking a few minutes. I know you've been extremely busy. Thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of Boston Comic Con. I'm sure we'll catch up at some point.
God bless you. Thank you.
You guys will be playing right there, right here. And you will be playing Gijo and Boston.
Okay, I'm with Fred from Madzig Studios. Hi.
Hi, good morning.
Now, you guys are from Canada.
Quebec City,
From
Canada.
Quebec City.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about your work here.
Yeah, so we're Madzig Studio. We what we do is we hand sculpt different creatures, original characters. Then we 3D scan them and print them at different sizes. We also hand paint everything.
Okay.
So everything's done by hand.
Nice. When did you get started?
I started about 2 years ago.
Oh, wow.
Before that, I had a game studio company, game development company.
Okay.
So when I retired, I actually started to do this as a hobby. But then more and more people were interested in the sculpture, so now we sell them.
Okay, and what was the inspiration for some of these figures?
So a lot of the characters are original characters from bedtime stories I was telling my kids when they were young.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Those are kind of scary bedtime stories.
Yeah, so what we did, my kids are like in their 20s now.
Okay.
So we evolved a little bit the storyline to keep it relevant for them as well. So
Okay.
they're a bit more scary now.
All right, that sounds good. And on average, how much do they retail they sell for?
So it depends on the size of the character. So we have small ones at 150, and then the big ones are 350.
Okay. And the material is what?
Resin.
It's resin.
Yeah. So what we do is we hand sculpt them in clay. We start with clay, and then we 3D scan them with a 3D scanner,
Okay.
and then print them at different sizes, and then we paint them.
Okay.
Yep.
Now, like something like this,
Yes.
how long would it take to make something like that?
It's a very long process.
Yeah, I can imagine.
So a piece like that would be around 100 hours of sculpting,
Oh, wow.
and then maybe a couple of days, painting
Okay.
the sculpture. So that's about it.
Nice. Now, do you ship worldwide if people need to?
Yeah,
Hi,
almost
nice to meet you. Okay.
almost everywhere.
Okay,
Yeah.
good. Now, if people want to get in touch,
Yeah.
they want to check out your artwork,
Yeah,
what's the best way
they
to
can
do
go
that?
to www.madzig.ca
Okay.
in Canada, and you can see all of the sculptures that we have on the store.
Now, is this your first time in Boston?
At the event at Fan Expo, yes,
Okay.
first time.
Where else was your next convention?
So we did Monsterpalooza in LA, and we'll be at Comic Con in Quebec City in October.
Very nice.
And then we're also going to attend Anime Con in Ottawa in March.
Very nice. Very good. All right, Fred, thank you very
Nice
much.
meeting you.
Let's see what else is going on in Boston Expo.
All right, Boston Fan Expo 2027. We're walking through Artist Alley, and I walked by this little booth, and I started laughing, and you'll see why in a minute. So I'm here with Hillary, who is the proprietor of Little Nerds. Hi, Hillary. How you doing?
Hello.
So talk a little bit about your company, what you do, and some of your designs, because this is really cute stuff. And like I was saying earlier off camera, it takes a lot for me to go by a booth and start like laughing out loud, and that's exactly what I do. But your stuff is incredible.
Well, my name is Hillary. I am originally from Massachusetts. I live in New Hampshire now. And I am a mom of four who was a big nerd and married another nerd. And we had little nerdlings. But I noticed there was very little stuff available for the little nerdlings. It was all like, cute little duckies and bunny rabbits. So instead, I came up with some baby products as well as fun toys and things like that were all nerdy themed. And I use my kids as product testers and inspiration.
And you have a range of products. You have
I do.
superhero stuff. You have a giant apple, which is incredible.
It's evolved over time. It didn't always start as that, but yeah, it's definitely evolved over time. So I keep adding more and more to it. I can't stick with one fandom. I must have them all.
Do you have a favorite fandom?
Oh, Lord of the Rings. Lord of the Rings, for sure. For myself. For my kids, they each have their own individual fandoms. Like my youngest really loves Pokemon right now. My third is really into anime. My second one loves D&D. So a little bit of everything.
That's a really cool thing about fandom and a place like Boston Fan Expo. You have basically all of your bases
Everything's
covered.
represented, yes.
Doesn't matter what you want, you will find it here. So you started out with the plushies, and there's some really good stuff, but you've gone into a whole bunch of different things. How long does it usually take for you to, because these are all hand done?
Yes,
So say like a small plushie, how long does it take for you
The
to do?
small character plushies that are about the size of my hand, those take me usually less than an hour, like between 30 to 45 minutes about, depending on the detail. But then I have other things such as, this huge Appa and a huge dragon. They each took me over 20 hours. So I've been crocheting for over 25 years now. And although I crochet pretty fast, sometimes things take time. Other things that are sewn, they take a little bit less time, but
Okay.
everything is its own.
Are you going to be appearing at any other cons in the near future?
Yes, I am going to be at Southern New Hampshire Comic Bash and Wicked Con in Boston, as well as the Granite State Comic Con in September.
Okay. And you're on Etsy. I see. Are there any other social links that you give out if people want to get more information on your stuff?
I am also Little Nerds NH on Instagram and TikTok. And I do even live streams making some of the things that you do, like the crochet plushies in the morning on Twitch. Same name, Little Nerds NH.
Oh, that's awesome. I'll have to go check that out. Well, anyways, Hillary, thank you for spending a few minutes, because I know you're really busy, and enjoy the rest of the con.
Thank you so much. I love hanging out with all the nerds.
Sweaty, but I'm having fun. I did not build any of these, but our members did actually build some of these. Yeah, mine's actually sitting at home. There we go. There's my
I am with Jeff from Windy Ridge Makers.
Yes.
Okay, sounds good. You guys are based in New Hampshire.
Yes, we are. Loud in New Hampshire.
All right, 3D. It's the thing now. So tell us all about your work. How'd you get started?
How do we get started is kind of fun. My wife is a former librarian.
Okay.
And she brought a 3D printer home for us to take a look at it.
Right.
And then I started making pieces.
Okay.
And
You fell in love with 3D printing.
very quickly. I'm a software engineer by trade.
Nice.
And a year after we had our first printer in the house, I was here at Boston Fan Expo competing in the costume contest in a full 3D printed Iron Man suit.
Oh, wow. How'd you do?
I didn't win the novice category, but I had a lot of fun doing it.
Okay, sounds good. Now, tell me about some of these pieces that you make, the smaller ones and so forth.
So we try to have a wide variety of things on our table for people. This side of the table has a lot of the little small $10 grab-and-go pieces that are popular with the kids, like the little animals, the little clickers.
Okay.
So we do that, and then we also have dragons and eggs that are a little more expensive.
Okay.
And all the way over to our book nooks on the other side that go in people's bookshelves. They're based around various books and popular fandoms.
Okay.
Dungeon Crawler Carl, Fourth Wing, all the popular ones.
Okay.
And then we have a few real custom pieces like the Mecha Godzilla that we have out front. That, we don't sell a lot of them, but people think they're really cool, and we like making them.
Now, how long does it take, for example, one of these smaller eggs, how long does it take to print something like that?
So this little guy here, just the egg itself is probably about a 4-hour print.
Okay.
And then he has a little baby dragon in it.
That's cool.
Yeah, so it's another 2 hours for that, and then we put them together.
Okay. And the Mecha Godzilla, how long would it take you to put that together?
Mecha Godzilla is a big one. He takes me a week of time between printing them, and then I have to print all the pieces, and then I glue them all together and stand them up. So he's a week.
So it's a little bit like your own kind of model making.
It is.
You make all the little model pieces, and then you have to put them all together.
In the case of the complex ones, yes.
Okay. How do you decide which genres you want to print?
We do a lot with the Fan Expo crowds, and we're sci-fi fantasy folks ourselves. So we just based on our interests and what other people's interests are, we pick things that are popular.
Okay.
We have a Sauron book nook that is popular because the Hobbits are here.
That's
for
right.
instance.
Okay. Cool. Now, if people want to get in touch with you, because I see this fantastic stuff and they're interested in buying, how do they get in touch?
WindyRidgeMakers.com.
Okay, you got a website. Awesome. Now you on like Facebook or any other medias? Or?
We are. We're on Facebook. We're on Instagram, and again, just our website.
Okay, cool. Jeff, thank you very much.
You're quite welcome.
Good luck. Let's see what else is going on in Boston.
All right.
Hey, RMX.
All right, again at Boston Fan Expo 2026. I was walking by, coming out of Artist Alley, and I'm walking down into like the droid area where my friend Andy is. And I'm walking by this booth, and I see Operation Hammond, Nerds Helping Nerds, and that caught my attention. So this is Lisa with Operation Hammond, and I really figured we'd talk to her about it. So hi, how you doing today?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Doing fine. So talk a little bit more about Operation Hammond and what is involved.
Okay, so Operation Hammond is a nonprofit all-volunteer organization. We were founded back in 2012. We've done countless events. We operate all over the Northeast. We do anime, sci-fi cons, steampunk events, HEMA, historical European martial arts events. We did our first Renaissance fair earlier this year. As I mentioned, we're all volunteers. None of us get paid. We do this for a love of pop culture conventions events. A lot of our members are EMTs, medics, doctors, nurses in their day-to-day lives, and most of our members are also veteran convention staffers. So we have a unique understanding of both medical needs and the social dynamics of these conventions.
So you can do nerd speak, but if somebody is in need of assistance, you also can help out that way. So it's kind of like a double win-win.
Exactly, yes.
Now, how long has Operation Hammond been in existence?
Since 2012.
Okay. And so you need, I assume you need to have some sort of a metal background or something in order to volunteer?
You don't have to have a prior medical knowledge because we do provide first aid training, and we also have non-medical volunteer roles as well. We do want you to have at least a CPR card. Basically, again, we can provide that training if you don't come to us with any prior training. We have people who come with a table as well, especially at the larger events like Capsicon.
Okay. Is there a website or some social media that our viewers can go see so they can get more information?
Yes. Our website is www.operationhammond.com. I realize it's probably not showing the flyers, maybe not showing up too well there. You can also find us on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, and Tumblr.
Okay, Lisa, thank you very much for giving us a few minutes here at Sci-Fi Journal. We really much appreciate it. Hope you enjoy your rest of the weekend. We'll see you around.
You too. Thank you for interviewing me. I've been with OH since pretty much the beginning, and I'm always happy to talk about it.
Thank you. All right, let's see what else we can do here at Boston Fan Expo.
All right, Calvin, this was a long day, but what do you think?
Well, he had a blast. There's a lot of stuff going on. We actually have tentative breaking news, it seems. I'm not sure of the exact date, but Boston Fan Expo is going to be moved next year to December, which I think is a really good thing because for the past few years, it has competed directly with Terrificon over at Mohegan Sun, right, which is another great con. We're not being biased. Both cons are like really awesome.
Yeah, we like them both.
When you have major cons competing against each other literally 2 hours away from each other, it causes an issue. So hopefully with the date being changed, that both cons will be able to breathe and get as many people as they can.
Yeah, I wonder if some people are going to be saying, let's see, do I buy Christmas gifts or do I go to Boston Fan Expo? But let's do both.
Yeah,
that'll be it. Okay, so that's going to be it for this edition of Sci-Fi Journal. Thank you very much for watching, and I think the next big convention coming up is in November for Rhode Island Comic Con.
Yeah, remember for Rhode Island Comic Con. I'll give a brief report on Dragon Con 2026 when I go down in a few weeks.
Good.
But yeah, looking forward to it.
All right, that's it. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you watch us on YouTube also.
Peace.
Bye.